The wind and snow are strong again today. Our footsteps from yesterday are completely gone, and the snow is smooth like the surface of an egg. I stare at the empty snowscape and become worried about Tanamura. The gunshots I heard from the chat are still ominously echoing inside my head. Kawazi-san was unable to move after she heard the sound, but it seems she prepared herself for the worst during the night. Previously on Swan Song. But I don't want to accept it until I see it with my own eyes. The exit of the cave is hidden by the ruins, so it should be hard for anyone to find this place. I'll leave a note for when Kawazi-san wakes up and head to the church. We're about to have a religious experience, aren't we? My leg still hurts like shit, but I can move if I push myself. I don't know if the injury's healed, if I've gotten used to the pain, or if my tension is making the pain go away. My senses are numb. Anyway, I'm glad I can move. Okay. I take the long way to the church so that nobody can trace my footsteps back to the cave, and if they find them. The church is dead silent. Oh, yeah, poor choice of words, kid. There's no light, and I don't feel any presence in the dark rooms. I'd hide myself for a while, listen hard, and confirm that nothing alive is in there before I step inside. The air inside the chapel is odd. I smell a faint odor of burns and blood. I bear the feeling of repulsion and head to the back. Those, oddly enough, look like wounds from a sword. So yeah, Tanamura did some damage. As soon as I step across the ashes and into the hallway, I see blood everywhere. The floor and the walls are covered in it. This wasn't here when we left the church yesterday. Tanamura-san fought the enemy here. I look around, but I don't find any definite Phew! Apologies. I look around, but I don't find any definite proof, meaning I can't find anybody's corpse, but something had to have happened, considering all the blood here. In fact, there are traces of something being removed from here. Maybe the evidence is already disposed of. There's the hot smell of blood and for some reason burnt chemicals. Both smells are hard to bear and they mix together to create a terrible odor. Something wells up from my stomach. It was breakfast. I put my hand over my mouth and continue my search. I think you need a gas mask, dude. Every time my eyes pick up information from the scene and send it to my brain, an ominous premonition tells me to leave this place. I ignore my instincts and continue searching. My heart starts beating rapidly and my fingers start to tremble. I find a cut-off thumb in a pool of blood. I find the tip of a broken sword stuck in the wall. And I find something yellow hiding in the back of the hallway. I first thought it was a piece of cloth or something, but it's not. When I take a good look at it, it's a bundle of hair. It's a bundle of Tanamura-san's hair! And what's connected to the bundle of hair is a lump of flesh. Like, are you gasping from shock or are you jerking it off, man? I think he's jerking it to the crime scene. Tsukasa, you freak! I'm assailed with a scary feeling, almost as if my brain's shrieking and the world's collapsing. I'm about to fall down. I strengthen my mind and try to bear through. I manage to hold my ground, but the back of my throat trembles, and I can't stop it. I can't lose my cool. I can't scream. I cover my mouth with my hand when the wall suddenly draws near my face. I reach out to the wall at once and stop myself from hitting it. I must have lost my balance. My body is completely abnormal right now. I can't put any power into my limbs. I keep my trembling hand on the wall and try to pull myself up, but something comes up to my throat. I try to stop myself but can't, and I vomit onto the wall. Brown liquid with the soury. What? With the soury I just ate splashes by my feet. I steam with the sour smell rises from it. Ugh. I can't stay standing, so I lean against the wall and crumple down. The sound of my wild breathing fills the silent church. The bad odor, the chemical blood in my vomit fills the area. I have difficulty breathing, so I look up. Apologies again. It's a staple of the channel. Every time I do a gameplay session, I'm always sick. Damn it all to hell. I want to see the high, distant sky. But I don't see the sky, and my vision is blocked by the dirty, cracked ceiling. I tilt my head back down and realize that my vision is blurred. I touch my face and find that it's entirely cold and wet. Oh, what the hell? Someone hit him! What the fuck? Oh, yeah. Takeo, she survived. She wants revenge for her fallen castle. Previously on Game of Thrones Swan Song Edition. I tell Hoshino-san to gather everyone up. We have no more food or clothes. We managed to run away into the city's ruins after our temple burned down, but all the important facilities are under the school's control, and we're lacking resources. We're managing to survive by digging up deep snow and eating scarce grass, but it's obvious that people are going to die from malnutrition at this rate. Driven by fear, the enemy were running away in the desolate ruins. Fear covers our group with gloom. We have no way to fight back against them now, since our group consists mostly of women, kids, and old people. If the enemy finds us now, we'd be killed without being able to do anything. It may be cruel to tell them the truth in this situation, but I'm out of ideas now. Maybe my mother was right. Even if a fake like me wishes for something, I can only lead them down a mistaken path. The night we ran away, I clearly realized something when I turned around and saw the temple on fire. That I'm the one who brought on this tragedy. I led them down a wrong path and drove them into a terrible place. We've lost and are looking back in regret. We're too pitiful. That night, the orange blaze not only burnt down the temple, but the just cause within me as well. But when I turn back, my followers are still looking at me with belief in their eyes. They've innocently believed my thoughtless lies and are still waiting for my words. I get scared at what I've done. I have distanced them from the truth, showed them a dream that does not exist, and on top of that, led them into this hopeless situation. I can't bear it, so I throw up on the spot. What comes out of my mouth is a dirty frog. I curse my foolishness. I did something I cannot take back. I cannot say those cursed words anymore. I want to leave the rest of the power of the truth. I'm hesitant, but I have to reveal everything now. The gathered followers must have sensed my strange attitude as they stared at me seriously. Their eyes used to be reassuring, but they now look as if they're convicting me. Sorry. I'm still a mere prophet, and not anybody special. I'm saying this in a different sense. I'm saying that the story about both the old guy, but these okay, we can do this. Bo, Bod, or Bo, Hisata. Oh God. Okay, Bo. I think the D is silent. He, or his, Atvas. I don't know. So something. Arrival into the world, and everything related to that are lies. That's a religion that did exist, but at the very least, I don't believe in it. It causes a stir, but I continue on. So the Buddhist, fuck it, will not come to this world even if they follow my words. Nothing supernatural will appear to save the humans. I cannot see the future. Oh, sorry. Flashbacks of Final Fantasy VII AC flashed to my mind. Tifa Lockhart. Damn. Oh, sorry. There was no divine message, but there was a bird. She screams in a trembling voice. I wait until she regains her breath before I continue. A small inspection would quickly reveal that the mountain has firm ground, and the buildings have been reinforced so they would be resistant to earthquakes. It looks old, but it is actually much stronger than the other buildings around in the area. It was highly unlikely that it would collapse in an earthquake. No, that is science! She looks like she's about to cry, but she yells back. Her desperate expression aches my heart, but I ignore my emotions, trying not to change my expression, and speak as calmly as I can. The two Super Saiyan gods battled that day, and what resulted was this. It's nothing extraordinary. I heard about it from someone. A meteorologist. Many of my followers are of high status and have known me since I was a fortune teller. A few of them knew ahead of time about this earthquake. They did not tell me how they knew. It could have been a scientific investigation or something else, but there's no way to find out now. But seeing that the earthquake actually occurred, it must have been from a reliable source. The one who told me about it told me as if it was a natural thing. He said that a large earthquake will occur, that most buildings will collapse, and that people will have to live like they did in the Stone Age. And finally, he added, Is it an angel? The first angel! Evangelion! This happened a week before the earthquake. So I have a... Okay, so I have a question. If you knew about this disaster, this major disaster, way ahead of time, why didn't you prepare? I mean, it's like, why didn't the government prepare? It's like, hey, this major thing's gonna hit us in a few days, so we're going to evacuate the city. You know, something like that would have been nice. You know, that way they wouldn't have to live like this. But you know, it's like, well, whatever. You can't evacuate an entire country within a matter of hours. That's just impossible. Although that would make for a gripping story. A disaster story. I must ghostwrite the movie 2012. Even though it's 2016. It seems my words gave her hope in a cruel blow. She's so pale that she might faint any second now. But I need to say it. Then again, why wouldn't they tell anybody? They could have just televised it. Yo, there's going to be this major disaster in a few days. If you want to get out of this area, we advise you to do so. Seriously. Like, if you stay, that is your ass. She cries, but I continue. The person who leaked the information to me promised me that he would make special arrangements to send us rescue once things settled down. But I was discontent with his proposal. He said he would only save me and my mother. I refused and asked him to save more people. He first said he could not, but he eventually made a compromise with the condition that I would not tell anyone about it, and also put a limit on how many people would be rescued. The number proposed didn't sound like it would be enough, but I had to accept the offer since he said he could not make any more compromises. After that, I told my followers to gather up because I saw a great disaster coming. I had never given such a huge prediction, so I was worried if they would believe me, but about a third of them did. The people who gathered were less than the amount of people he promised to save. I probably could have saved more people if I broke the promise of keeping the secret. I thought hard about it. Even if I did reveal the information to the world, how many people would believe me? Not everybody would believe me, and it may have just created unnecessary chaos. Can I do it? First of all, I only half believe the information myself. Now, if she would have did that, this story would have been completely different. It's like, wait a minute, it's like, the scientists of the world unite. It's kind of like Independence Day, but with natural disaster. You could just imagine Jeff Goldblum sitting behind a computer in his laboratory, because that's apparently the only role he can play now as a scientist. You know, if you're going to get typecasted in a role, it's like, yeah, a scientist is not a bad way to go. Might get a bit boring after a while, but you know it's not a bad way to go. But the earthquake did actually occur. People's lives were destroyed and people were attacked by unprecedented fear. And the need for a new religion arose, and that's how our doctrine was created. The Daiichi Society! The arrival of the, oh god, of the something was an extreme way of thinking, so we originally did not use it in the Daiichi Society. And I did not like the idea either. But once the world became more extreme, we knew we had to rely on it. I don't want to call it a necessary evil, but that's what we intended. I modified the teaching so it would suit this situation, and it actually did help people bear the extreme situation we find ourselves in. It hurts me to change the teachings of the Buddha for our goal, but I told myself we should actually be saved by the eventual rescuers as long as the people believed in it. But the rescue never came. They show no signs of coming even now. It was a complete failure. As I talk about all of this, I recall what my mother used to tell me. The true nature of a fortune teller is to shed light to the unknown tomorrow and give the person enough courage to live the next day. We put on acts and learn many theories so our words are believable. You can merely put us off as shams, but it's true that people cannot live without hope, and hope is to believe in a future that does not exist. Some fiction is necessary, so there's no need to feel guilty about lying. One can have pride in this job. I understand this. I understand that this was the message behind everything my mother told me since I was a child. My mother was reluctant about this, probably because she had pride in her job, using her skills to trick her followers. At Callan the Rescue, my mother must have thought that it was an insidious job. As mother said, we are merely watchmen of dreams and should only live in a world that has no connection to reality. But I pushed it aside and did it my way. This is the result of it. And now I'm confessing everything and destroying what my mother valued the most. The illusion. My mother valued me dearly, but I'm betraying her in a terrible way. I want to cry, but I shouldn't cry now. I concentrate on keeping my mask on and continue talking. I give concrete examples to make my case more believable. I think I was able to do it well. My tone did not change one bit. And I tell them everything. Everybody is hanging their head silently. It's scary to think what may be going through their minds, but I also feel refreshed as if things are back to how they should be. This may be how a death row prisoner feels when he steps on the 13th step. What? This could be a Japanese thing. Let's kill her like Joan of Arc. Burn the witch! Burn her! Oh, okay. No, that would be too harsh. Oh, God. You know, she could be their, like, the de facto, like, faction leader because, you know, it's like, they can build themselves up. They can get the weapons again. I say my final words. There was no need to fear that my words would tremble. Words naturally come out of my mouth as if they were pulled out with a string. Yeah, that is kind of true. She doesn't know how to shut up. When I shut my mouth, I get a feeling as if something is escaping my body. It feels like I've become part of the snow. Don't be absurd! Wow, that echo. Koiki-san screams and glares at me with scary eyes. The illusion was a lie. This is the real world. Was it the blue pill or red pill? I think it's the red pill. So why, oh why did I take the blue pill? A rock comes flying and grazes my head. A warm blood trickles down my temple to my chin. Ah, they're gonna stone her. Wow, that is a horrible death, man. Because I've actually seen a movie called The Stoning of Soraya M, and it's a pretty good movie. And at the end of the film, like, spoilers, like, you know, it's not really a spoiler because the actual title of the movie tells you what's going to happen. So it's like it prepares you for it. So yeah, when it happens, oh my god, it's wow. It is just brutal. They trapped me in a small... Oh, she's trapped in the closet. I'm trapped in the closet. Like R. Kelly. I don't know any words to that song, so I'm not going to attempt to sing it. They trapped me in a small room. Silent hell. The cracked walls are all around me. The room is dark, and the small window only provides enough light to dimly light up my white clothes. They decided to hand me over to the school as the main culprit and surrender. I can't tell if that's the correct choice, but at any rate, I don't have the right to say anything about their decision. And once I'm handed over to the school, the people at the school will decide what to do with me. Everything would be determined automatically. There's no need for me to think, so I let my mind wander and think about whatever I want. When was the last time I was able to think freely? This place reminds me of when I was a child, so I decided to think back to when I was a child and I was free back then. Oh god, what is this? It's like the green mom. Hold my hands, boss. I never attended school and always stayed in my house. The only people I'd see in there, aside from my mother, were strange adults who were tutors in name only. There were no kids around my age. They showed strange enthusiasm in their eyes as they taught me different things. They all had different backgrounds for their ideas, so even though they all talked about similar things, their expressions were all different. I was baffled. It did not mean only one of them was right, as they all sounded right to me. They all sounded equally convincing, and they all believed in their correctness. I wondered what was right. Before I noticed, their words kept echoing in my head, and I thought I would go crazy. I asked my mother for help since I got so loud in my head that I was scared. She only told me to go... I gotta take this out of my hair so I can read this straight. She only told me to go read certain books in the study. Since I could not do anything else about it, I stayed in this moldy, smelly study and opened up a book that was too difficult for me at the time. I used a dictionary whenever I came across a word I didn't know, and I memorized figures of speech that I did not understand. I read one book after another as Mother instructed me to do, and one day I experienced something strange. When I was staring at the difficult text, a bright light suddenly appeared before me. I think it was a sparkle of a new concept. The light took me to a higher plane, and the loud, separate voices became one voice. The jarring voices that I feared turned into a gentle harmony. It was dazzling excitement. All those conflicting opinions actually meant one thing. There's probably this one thing that contains everything in this world. If I can figure out this one thing, I'll probably be able to understand everything in the world and become friends with everybody. I felt proud as if somebody had told me a big secret in the study, and I'm like just continuously holding up this earpiece to my ear. I'm just hearing music, so it's like, nah, no, I'm not feeling that. And when I noticed I couldn't get away from the study, even after my initial problem was solved, I continued to read random books in search of more experience. I distanced myself from the world and devoted my whole childhood to the books and the study. Thinking back, this is my mother's scheme to make me read proactively. I fell for it, and since then, my closest friends were old books and writers who died a long time ago. I felt life in the books. Being in the small space between the bookshelves calmed me down as if I was surrounded by best friends. It was a place filled with happiness and freedom from everything else. Eventually, the tutors stopped coming to my house, but I didn't realize that they were gone. I recalled that I didn't talk much with my mother, so the books were the only ones I talked to back then. And thus, I spent the majority of my time in the study. Why we're trying to establish a background for this character now? This feels like more filler. This thing's worse than Naruto. Come on, it's like every other episode is a filler. I closed my eyes and imagined what it was like back then. Seriously? You're gonna try and make me feel for her before she dies? Again? The young me in my imagination is also closing her eyes. Oh god. It's an Inception concept. She has her elbows resting on the table with her chin in her hands. She's rubbing her together because they're cold. My hair looks messy because my clumsy mother would cut it, but I didn't even care about it back then. I really like my uneven hair. And many gentle and intelligent books are surrounding the young girl. How long have they lived in the study? They have great patience as they're still claiming the same thing as when they were written, even though it has been hundreds of years. They never sulk, even when they neglect it for a long time. They always welcome her vivaciously when they're open. She believes that they never changed because they were waiting for her. That's what she thinks about the books. They always tell her about new places, people, and stories. They make her sympathize, move her, and makes her think. Some show her harsh things, but they're only trying to tell the truth. They're speaking to her with all their might to take her to the right place. What kind of gentle beings they are. And they are amazing. They bloom flowers of different colors. Oh god, no. This is like so cliche right now. They bloom flowers of different colors, create strange animals, and bring many wonderful people inside my mind. The wind they create prudently brushes her, and the shining light always surrounds her warmly. The water is cold and pure, and the soil is soft and reliable. And the most wonderful thing about them is that they all appear once she closes her eyes and erases the scenery around her. So she isn't lonely anymore. She used to be saddened by the fact that she didn't have any friends and couldn't talk to anyone. But she can now become happy just by closing her eyes in a dark, quiet place. The books gave everything to her. Except game. What a wonderful thing. Could such wonderful things exist in this world? The young me is smiling really happily inside this dark study, and in the gentle happiness, she's imagining something even happier. I'm thinking of how wonderful it must be if I could create even one clover of an ant in someone's mind, and how I would want to accomplish it someday. Just imagining the day my dreams comes true makes me want to laugh, cry, and go crazy. I cannot contain it within myself. I kick the chair, stand up, and jump up and down the room. I'm jumping with my eyes closed in the dark, small room, so I bang my head on the bookshelf. Books come falling down, and I'm buried under my books. Okay. When I scream, my mother comes. She opens the door and runs inside. She must have seen me buried in books with my eyes closed. Why is this music still playing? She looks pale. Keeping my eyes closed, I smile and answer her. My mother then shakes her head and sighs. Thank God. Someone's calling me, so I open my eyes. Hoshino-san is standing by the open door looking at me in worry. She hands me a handkerchief. With that, I realize that my face is wet. I smile and give an excuse. I take the handkerchief and wipe my eyes. My nose is running, so I wipe that as well. I ask Sun is quiet while I do all this. The sun has set before I noticed, and it's already night. It may be too late, but I sit up straight and try to show dignity. She's quietly staring at me. She has served us the most, so I must have heard of the most as well. The thought aches my heart. You want to run away like Shinji? Shinji Ikari, the master of running away. He has a song dedicated to that. wanna run away, never say goodbye. Oh, damn it. Damn you, Gigok. You are, unfortunately, our fearless leader, and we need you to lead us. That's what she's trying to tell you. That's good. She's looking out. She's like, I'm looking out for you, man, because if you go to that school, you are as good as dead. I mean, knowing Kuwagata, he is most likely to rape you first before killing you. And a lot. So, yeah. You have to go into... Oh my gosh, she has to go into exile. This is like so Game of Thrones. A leader. Her empire destroyed. Forced into exile. I'm stunned because she says this so commonly. Dun 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 dun. You did a good job of that yourself. So, yeah, please take this exile as a parting gift. Because other than that, you know, it's just death. And I hear the roommate coming back too. Okay, I'm just gonna stop it here for now. So I'm gonna save it, and I'm gonna hit that for 5, return, and do a quick save. It saved quick, excellent, and I'm just gonna stop.